Hello there, welcome back to Scott's TCG. This is Adam bringing you another digital deck profile, but for One Piece this time. We have the One Piece Treasure Cups coming up soon in the One Piece 1 format, so I'm going to be bringing you some lists that I think will do well. We've got an event in the UK in Birmingham. If you're going to be there, come say hi to me. I will be judging at the event. I'm the big tall guy. My name is Adam. You'll probably hear me doing the announcements as well. Just because I love attention. But yeah, so we're going to crack on with this deck list. I don't want these videos to be too long. When building this list, I have focused on a lot of having strong offensive options, because that is the whole point of the Zoro deck, but it's also got decent defensive options in terms of counter power as well, and I've tried to balance that whilst maintaining the spirit of the deck, which is the hyper aggressive rush build. So obviously you've got your one leader card, which is your Zoro. Give him a Dawn and all of your characters gain plus 1k power. A very strong card, very simple card for red. All it really needs. You want to be swinging with this guy as often as you can, as often as you're allowed to outside of turn 1. And he's just going to continue to chip away at the game. Moving on to our one costs, we've got Otama. Otama, we're going to run 4 of her, and on play she gives up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power during this turn. This is an up to effect, so it's optional. Up to can mean 0 in One Piece, unlike in Digimon where it has to mean 1. Now she's not going to be attacking anything, she's to get strong characters brought back down a little bit to the level that they could be swung over at, and she's got 2k counter power, running 4 of her. We're running 4 one cost Tony Chopper. He's the only blocker in the deck, eating that cotton candy floss, sugar dust, or whatever it's called in other places. And you just slap him out when you need a blocker, but don't expect him to survive. And we've got 4 copies of Nami. Nami looks at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card other than Nami, and add it to your hand. Now, not every card in this deck is a Straw Hat Crew. We've got Otama, who's a Wano Country card. We've got Beppo, who's not a Straw Hat Crew, etc, etc. But most of them are. You should get a profit of at least 1 card every time you play Nami. And then she can go up to 3k with Zoro's effect, and if you give her 2 Dawn, she'll go to 5k. But honestly, once she's on the field, just leave her there. If they suspend some of their smaller guys, you can swing over them with her. But that's about it. We've got, I don't know why Beppo's coming first, but we'll do with Beppo. Beppo is one of the promos from the film deck. I'm going to play 2 of him, because you get 2k counter power. Give him a Dawn when attacking, you KO something with 3k or less, so quite cheaply you can use Otama in combination with Beppo and combination with Zoro to have a 6k, like a 4k swinger that KOs something that is 3k or less, which is super good. Got 2 copies of Sanji. He's going to be something that you play late game. If you're doing well, you can add a card from your life to your hand. He gains 2k power during this turn, and then you give him up to 2 rested Dawn cards. So say you've got your Zoro with your 1 Dawn attached, and then you use Sanji's effect. He's gaining 2k power by himself, making him 5k, giving him 2 rested Dawn cards makes him 7k, and Zoro makes him 8k, which is pretty good for a 2 cost. Yes, you are sacrificing a bit of your own life, so you should only be playing Sanji, or you should rather only be using his main effect if you are confident you've got the win. Negging your own security is not going to be a good sort of thing to do unless you're playing the yellow deck, which is coming out in about 6 months time. For now, just be certain before you use it. But 2k counter power is very good. We've got 4 copies of Brook, yet again, another 2k counter. You can see where this deck is going. On play, give your leader or one of your rested characters 2 rested Dawn cards. So essentially, you can get Brook out for free. You rest 2, play Brook out, and then you get to put those 2 things you've just rested under one of your other cards. Don't put it on Brook the turn you play him, otherwise it's going to be useless. But give him to Zoro or something like that. This is where it might get a bit harder to get this card, but this I am thinking of in a tournament setting. You have spent money on the deck, you are trying to play it as best as possible. I think the promo Luffy from the tournament packs, like the locals pack, I think this is a really good card. Not only does it combo well with Brook to get to for the 2 Dawn sort of thing, it is another extremely good card. For 2 Dawn, it gains 2k power, which puts him up to 7k, 8k with Zoro, and he's a 2k counter. Yes, getting this card could be quite difficult, but I think this is a really strong mid and late game attacker, not to mention early game as well. I really like this Luffy. And again, 2k counter power. You'll notice that other than Nami and Chopper, everything that we're playing so far is 2k counter power, and that's because the rest of this deck, the main big hitters, do not have a counter on them, so you need to kind of balance it. Some of them, yeah, we've got a 1k one here, but you're normally going to have in other decks a lot of 1k counters in your hand, but they are also going to be, like, your big guys are also going to have 1k counter power in some decks. These guys do not. So I think you need to balance that out with as much 2k counters from the other cards as possible. If you don't have the film red, like the little mini promo deck, you can just drop 2 Beppo and add 2 more Sanji in. That keeps your counter power at 2k. Or you could add in Sunny Kun. Oh no, that's also from the film deck. But you could also add some other things in as well. Moving on to your big boys, we've got Sanji. Sanji is essentially discount Rush Zoro, so I'm going to talk about Rush Zoro first. He's the whole point of the deck. For 3 Dawn, you get a Rush card on your field. That is 5k, 6k with Zoro's, Leader Zoro's effect. Just insane. Bring him out, swing with him. If he lives, swing with him again. Keep swinging until they are dead. Sanji does the same thing in a different way. When you play out Sanji and then give him 2 Dawn, he gains Rush. He'll go up to 6k. It is essentially, these 2 cards are essentially the same thing with different text, because for a cost of 3 Dawn and plus 1 Dawn from Zoro, you're getting a 6k Rush Zoro. But if you give this for 2 and then another 2 cost, you're getting a 6k Rush Sanji. So it's essentially the same. Obviously, Zoro is better. This deck does not really function without him as well, but super good. 5k and 4 copies of both of these guys. No counter power, so again, using the counter power from your earlier ones. Don't be afraid to punt these guys under the bus. Save your life, that's what they're for. But moving on to the Monkey D. Luffy from the starter deck. Again, 5 cost. He's got Rush. He's got 6k, 7k with Zoro's effect. Don't give him 2 Dawn and your opponent can't activate blocker. This is one of your game ending cards. You slap this down for 5 cost, give him 2 Dawn, and then your opponent cannot block with it. He's going to be, if you give him the 2 Dawn, he'll be 8k, 9k with with Leader Zoro. So your opponent has to counter out of it. They cannot activate their blockers. This is a very good card. We've got 2 copies of Shanks, the secret rare from OP1. Again, he's got Rush, and when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker and characters with 2k power or less during this battle. I'm running out of oxygen. 10k, 11k with Leader Zoro, give him another Dawn, 12k, just a super good card. I think you run 2 for consistency, as I have had that pointed out to me, but 1 is also fine, and also none is also fine as well. This is just a good card to have. It helps you finish off the game. Moving on to your event cards. Again, some people don't play a lot of events, some people do. I think events are very good for the game, especially the trigger effects, especially some of the ones that you'll see. So we've got 2 copies of Diable Jambe. This essentially makes anything you're attacking with unblockable, and then it triggers insecurity. You also get to pop a low cost blocker, which is quite good. 4 Gum Gum Red Hawk. This is your main counter card in plus 4k power, and then you KO something with 4k or less, which means you can potentially KO the attacking thing, depending on what it is. Unlikely that's the case, but you're probably going to be able to pop something else, which is pretty good. And then the trigger card is give up to one of your opponent's leader characters minus 10k power during this turn. Good to hit in life. It means that they can't attack you with anything else that's on the field. I like it. Playing 2 copies of Round Table. I was 50-50 on Round Table. It doesn't have a trigger, and it's a 4 cost. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 10k power during this turn. But in combination with Jet Pistol, it is a very, very strong card, and it clears really big bodies. So things like your Eustace Kid character, things like your Eustace Kid character, your Kaido character, big 12k guy, other shanks, etc. Giving something minus 10k and then using Jet Pistol to KO it is extremely powerful. And I highly recommend it, of course. Four copies of Jet Pistol, triggers and security, KOs a 6 scale less. Again, a really good card. And you've got your 10 Dawn as well, which is mandatory in the game. So that's it for the Rush Zoro deck, guys. Let me know any sort of thoughts, changes you might have to it. Again, this list is brought to you by my own sort of thoughts, as well as looking up at winning decks and my friends' input as well. But like I said, if you've got any other comments, let us know down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and all that sort of YouTube jazz. You don't have to, but it does help me out. And yeah, that's it. I'll bring you another deck profile very shortly, guys. And bye for now.